Hello, my crafty friends. Well, today I have an easy fun fold card idea that I want to share with you. And I have two different ways you can use this fun fold idea in your card making. Hi, it's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. In this episode of Stamptastic TV, I have two easy accordion fun fold card ideas to share with you. So I'm going to show you how to make this card in landscape style. And I have a portrait style fun fold card to share with you as well. Now, the cards in this video feature the gathered wheat stamp set from Stampin Up. And they also feature some of the wheat dies, which is part of this particular bundle. However, keep in mind that you can use any supplies you have on hand to create these cards, and you can create them for any occasion. Okay, so I am going to show you how to make this card in landscape style. And to create it in landscape or portrait style, it's the exact same measurements. So the only difference is how I'm going to decorate it. So let me show you how to create this super easy accordion style fun fold card. Okay, so to create the base of this fun fold card, you're going to need two pieces of cardstock. So I'm using crumb cake cardstock. You can use whatever color you have on hand that coordinates with whatever designer paper you'll be using. So the first piece I cut is just 5.5 by 4.25 inches. So it's just one little piece of cardstock here. It's the exact same size as your standard card base when your card is closed. So we just have one piece of cardstock. The second piece that I cut is 4, so it's 4 inches by 9 inches. And then I scored it at 3 inches and 6 inches. And so this is how we will create the accordion style section. So it's basically just two score lines and you just accordion fold it together. And this is the fun fold section of your card. Okay, so these are the two pieces. We have the base of the card, and then we have that accordion fold section that we created. So when this accordion section is closed, it measures 3 inches by 4 inches. And so this is just going to go right in the center of our card base. But before we do that, let's add some designer paper. So I am just using some of the Gingham Cottage Designer Series paper. You can use any paper you want, but this piece is 5.25 inches by 4. And it's going to go right in the center here of my card base. So once I have that adhered, then I can go ahead and I can add my fun fold section. So this piece is going to get adhered to the card base. And so this is what it's going to look like. So this piece will get adhered to my designer paper. And then this will be the fun fold section. So I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to the back here. So the best way to adhere it is just to fold it all together accordion style and then just adhere it right to the card front. And then when you let go, then you'll have your fun fold. So the next thing I did is I just cut a 3 3/4 by 2 3/4 inch piece of white cardstock, and then I just embossed it with the time-worn type embossing folder. And what I'm going to do is just kind of sponge a little bit of crumb cake ink over the top of this, just so that it kind of stands out a little bit better. So you just kind of add a little bit of crumb cake ink to a sponge and just lightly brush it over the top. And that will pull out the embossing so that you can see it better. All right, so once we have that done, then we can go ahead and add this to our card front. So this piece I'm just putting right on the front of the card. And then let's just go ahead and add the other pieces on the inside of the card. So the next thing I did is I just cut the same size as what I did with the white. So this is 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. And this is a piece of that Gingham designer paper. So I wanted to just kind of draw out that pattern that is in the background of this card. So I'm just going to adhere this to this middle panel. And then for this last section, I just created another panel, same size, so it's 3 3/4 and 2 3/4. And I am just going to stamp one of the wheat images on this piece. We'll just kind of stamp it over to the left side, just using some crumb cake ink. And then we'll go ahead and adhere it to the inside section here. So it's kind of like a 3-panel fun fold card. So you have your place here where you can write a message, and then we have the front that we still have to decorate yet. So let's go ahead and decorate the front of our card. Okay, so the first thing I did for the decorations for the front of the card is I just stamped the thinking of you greeting on a scrap piece of this yellow cardstock. And I just used some crumb cake ink to stamp the greeting. And then I used one of the dies from the gathered wheat set to cut out this banner. Now, the cool thing about this die is that it has score marks already in it. So you can accordion fold your little greeting here. So you just fold this down, and then there's another score line here that you just fold back up. And so it creates this really pretty little banner greeting. So I adhered that first. So I'm just going to add some glue just to these little sections here, because then when you go to send this card, this greeting will actually fold down. So it won't stay popped up like this. It'll kind of accordion fold down so that you don't have to worry about it getting ruined. So we'll just add that to the bottom. The next thing I did is I just cut out a piece of the wheat. I stamped it on a piece of crumb cake cardstock using crumb cake ink. And then I sponged a little bit of crumb cake ink like around the edges of this piece. And then I added some dimensionals, and so we'll just pop this up, and I like to kind of tuck it underneath that greeting. And then I used the die from the set to cut out 3 little die cut pieces here that I'm going to use just to kind of decorate the card up. So I cut this with the Distressed Gold. So it's Distressed Gold Designer Series paper. So I'm going to add just a little bit of glue to each of these and just kind of tuck them around my little wheat here. And I don't want to add glue to the whole entire thing because I want to leave, I want it to have just like a little bit of depth and dimension. So I don't want to glue it completely down. And then this one we will tuck right in here. So it just kind of gives it a really pretty look. And then the last thing I did is I just added a couple little rustic enamel shapes. So we'll just add those right to the front. And that's it. That's all I did for this card. So it's just really a beautiful card, and it's so super simple. All right, so this is the landscape style. And then this is the portrait style. So you can see it opens this direction. But if I turn my portrait style card, you can see that they actually open the exact same way, right? So the measurements for creating this card, whether you create it in portrait style or landscape style, are identical. You create this accordion fold section in the exact same way. So the only difference is how I decorated the card. So I decorated this one in portrait style, and then I decorated this one in landscape style. Okay, so there you go. Now you have 2 different ways to use this easy accordion fun fold card idea in your card making. And if you enjoyed these card ideas, feel free to download the printable tutorial. You can find the link in the description below this video. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking it and sharing it with your friends. And leave me a comment below to let me know what you enjoyed most about the video and the cards shared here today. Have a fun and creative day, my friends. Take care.